Who we gonna piss off today? Hello. We about to get started. Everybody like the live, share the live as you come through the door. Subscribe to the YouTube if you haven't. Subscribe to the Buzzsprout podcast to support us if you haven't already. Good morning to the breakfast crew. Grab your Frappuccino. Or should I say your Floppuccino, and we about to get started. The thoughts, views, and opinions shared on the Flow Show No Filter are for educational and entertainment purposes only. I am not a professional. I am just good. Hey, everybody out there. Happy Thirsty Thursday. We always remind everybody to drink their water on Thursdays. You should drink it every day, but we're going to do Thirsty Thursdays. Drink your water. Get ready for the show. Got a good one for you as always. Diddy ass up to no good as always. Got a couple sad situations going on. I don't know if y'all saw, but Twitch's family was on Gale, spoke. They're speaking out. You know, Twitch, the former performer, entertainer on the Ellen Show. Y'all know his story, passed away under mysterious circumstances, and the family has a lot to say about it. The Diddler, he trying anything, throwing stuff against the wall to see what will stick. He's suing for $100 million. We're gonna break that down. And also, have y'all been paying attention to the Wendy Williams, shit that's going on with the I don't know, her son or people stealing money from her. She trying to get out of it. They have custody over her or whatever. Like it's a mess, but we're gonna get into that. It's just a lot going on today, y'all. I got these new I told y'all about those new mineral pills, it's like a mineral, it's like a liquid, fulvic acid, some natural from the earth stuff, organic. It's supposed to help you with all kind of stuff, but one thing it helps you with is your energy level. And shit, I got so much energy now I couldn't even fucking go to sleep last night. Like I was up all fucking night. I was like, this shit work, but it worked a little too good. I was up so late. I ended up watching. I was on YouTube. I fell down a rabbit hole just watching killer whales fuck up shit. What killer whales do to seals is crazy. I don't know if y'all ever watch it, but I fell down a rabbit hole, and the fucking seal was in. I guess it's in Alaska or some cold part, wherever where they can get on the ice. And so they get up on top of the ice to try to hide away from the orcas or get out the water. And so what the orcas did was they all got into a line, like in a formation. And while the seal was sitting up on the ice, you just see like I think it was about 6 orcas just in a line come swimming up under the ice, and then they make so much of a wave that the ice end up splitting apart, and then the seal falls in the water, and then they slap it and fuck it up. Oh man, it's cruel. But you know, when you up at 2 and 3 in the morning and you on YouTube or any one of those, YouTube especially, you never know what the fuck rabbit hole you end up falling down. Well, I fell down a killer whale rabbit hole last night, and it was funny. But let's get into this. The Diddler first. This is, like I said, y'all know Diddy been throwing everything against the wall to see what will stick. And the latest thing that he's thrown against the wall is a $100 million lawsuit against NBC for making of a Bad Boy documentary. Now, if you remember that documentary, it was on Peacock, and I guess NBC was behind it. They did a deep dive on Diddy, and people on there talking about all the shit. Remember, I told you that one, they put out a lot of business on that one. Anyway, do y'all know it's a specific part in that documentary that Diddy is suing because of the part of the documentary that Diddy and his legal team feel like is out of bounds is they were talking about the murder of Kim and implying, or as the lawsuit says, they said she did it. They said he did it. And for those that don't know, most of us know the story, but just to give some context, Kim Porter, as we all know, was Diddy's girlfriend, mother to his children some time ago. And she died of a mysterious pneumonia. The coroner sounds shady. All the people that were at the scene when she passed away sound shady. And then on top of all that, everybody came to find out that Kim Porter had a tell-all book or a diary that she was going to put out and expose the diddler. Well, that never happened because she passed away mysteriously. They talked about that in this documentary, and that is what Diddy, or why Diddy is suing. Let's get into this article. This is from the Daily Beast. Diddy files $100 million lawsuit against NBC for making of a Bad Boy doc. Okay, so the article reads, Sean Diddy Combs is suing NBC Universal for its Peacock documentary. According to Page 6, Combs is seeking $100 million from the entertainment conglomerate for severe reputational and economic harm. Now, this doc premiered on January 14th on like I said, on Peacock. Now, in Combs' complaint, this was obtained by Page 6. He alleges that the film maliciously and baselessly jumps to the conclusion that Mr. Combs is a monster and an embodiment of Lucifer with a lot of similarities to Jeffrey Epstein. Combs' team also denies the film's claims that he has committed numerous heinous crimes, including serial murder, rape of minors, and sex trafficking of minors, and attempts to cruelly psychologize him. You know what's funny about this statement, y'all, as I read through this article? He didn't say he ain't trafficking of age women. He didn't say, they didn't deny that he's trafficking males of age. They specifically say that they're mad about the fact that saying that he's a serial murderer, a raping of minors, and sex trafficking of minors. That's all. I thought that was interesting because if you're going to deny and say you innocent, why wouldn't you deny all of it? So when I look at that, I'm like, this is almost makes Diddy look even more guilty because they only cherry pick certain things to say, hey, this isn't true and this is why we suing you. But what about all the other shit? The legal team also writes that NBC Universal was told in December that the claims in the film were debunked and lacked any credible evidence. But the company moved forward anyway. The suit names NBC and the production company. See, Diddy gonna make a lot of enemies, y'all. And then think about it. Before we go on, think about this. This is a big conglomerate media outlet, NBC. First of all, they're not going to get behind a documentary and let stuff leak out that could cost them. I mean, NBC's been around for shit longer than I've been around, damn near. And they just shit goes through too many avenues before it comes out. So they're not going to let some bullshit come out, right? That's one thing. But not only that, but if you're suing them, now you're about to piss off NBC's friends. And NBC has big media outlets that are their allies or just people they're cool with. And so now with this $100 million lawsuit, you already got the world pissed off at you, Diddy. But now you're suing another you're suing a media outlet that can pass the word to other media outlets and really make shit hard for you. And the trial hasn't even started yet. That's another thing. But also, by you suing them, you not only going to waste your time, waste your money, but you're also going to put more eyes on that documentary. So now from this lawsuit, believe it or not, there were a lot of people who didn't even know about this documentary. There were a lot of people who didn't even know there was this Making of a Bad Boy documentary out with all this information. Well, now they know. And they know because Diddy himself and his legal team have brought so many eyes to this documentary in a frivolous lawsuit that ain't gonna go nowhere, and just made it worse for him as he sits in jail waiting on his court date. And so much shit has came out that why would your answer to all this new shit that come out is suing a media outlet for saying that you're a monster or implying you're a monster, when all they're doing is giving a platform for people to speak out. And speaking of the legal snafus that's going on and all the bullshit tactics, something else that went under the radar yesterday was Diddy also received another loss in the court. And this is another thing. And I told y'all yesterday, I can't put my finger on it. I don't know what Diddy did, but a lot of the latest updates are being swept under the rug. And I don't know if that's intentional. I don't know if just a lot of the media people have moved on from the story. But yesterday, news broke about the situation where Diddy, y'all remember when Diddy was saying that they came into his cell and looked at his notes, and he was saying that he wants somebody to be held accountable because he said that raid that they did on his cell when they found those notes, he said that was done intentional. And remember, he asked the judge to rule on that. Well, that ruling came in yesterday. I don't know if y'all saw it. I don't know if y'all saw the ruling or anybody else talked about it, but it was an L for the diddler. Now, in this ruling, what happened? The judge basically said, without getting too long-winded about it, that the notes don't have shit to do with shit. He looked at the judge, broke down the notes, and said basically, there's not much in there. There's nothing in there that could be used against the defendant or anything of that sort. And then the prosecution, they doubled down. They basically said, yeah, and furthermore, we don't even fucking need those notes. This, I'm paraphrasing. You know, they didn't say that, but they didn't say it in those words exactly. But basically what they said is we don't even fucking need those notes. Good morning, Sybil. They said you can throw those notes out. Basically, we got all kind of shit on Diddy. And without those notes, his ass is sunk. So the judge threw that out and basically said, now, if Diddy wants to bring it up down the line and maybe something else might make it relevant, what Diddy's saying about them getting to his notes. So the judge left it on the table that I guess he can bring this situation back up again and he'll revisit it if need be. But as of right now, just like everything else that Diddy has tried to throw against the wall and see what sticks, the judge said, I'm not buying your argument about they taking your notes and it be hindering your case at all. So he threw that shit out. But like I said, and see, many people even report on that yesterday. So I don't know. I really think something's up with the media and this Diddy thing. I really, really, really do. And I can't say what it is right now, but I'm going to keep paying attention. And when I can put my finger on it, I'll definitely let you all know what the hell is going on, because I don't understand why some of these updates aren't being put out there anymore. But we shall see. So let's get back to this Porter situation. Now, as we said, Kim Porter, this is what this whole lawsuit is about. I mean, they're saying that other stuff about saying like Diddy thinks that the documentary said all kind of foul shit or shit that wasn't true. But they really focusing on this Kim Porter. Now, Porter and Combs shared 3 children together before her death from that mysterious pneumonia in 2018. Combs also reportedly adopted Albie Shore's son, which was Kim Porter's son, and he adopted him. So there are a lot of ties there. And a lot of people believe that Kim was gone, but if she would have lived, she would have been Cassie Ventura. And what do they mean by that? They mean Cassie was the one who brought the shit out and got Diddy and got the fucking ball rolling. And when I say the ball rolling, she got the ball rolling like bowling. And Diddy has been in hot water and in the hot seat ever since. But a lot of people believe that would have been Kim Porter, because Kim Porter even knew more than Cassie. Kim Porter was around even before Cassie. So there was plenty that she knew. And not only was she around, but she was allegedly preparing to bring this shit out and let the world know the same thing that Cassie Ventura let the world know. Now, in this situation with Kim, authorities determined there was no foul play associated with Kim Porter's 2018 death. And the documentary features a disclaimer with that information, along with several other disclaimers as accusers speak in the film. Now, that goes back to my point. This NBC, y'all, they not playing around. This is why the Diddy situation is, he's going out fucking sad. Let's just call a spade a spade. He's going out sad. This looks desperate. This looks spontaneous. It's no rhyme or reason. It's like you're just trying anything, and it really makes him look even more guilty than he looked before this lawsuit. I mean, I watched the lawsuit. Matter of fact, we had a panel and discussed this. Not the lawsuit, but we had a panel and we discussed this documentary of Making of a Bad Boy, right? And there was disclaimers all through it. And so where are your grounds for suing when all the disclaimers that were put up to show that what really was said, what the truth is? Like, for example, the one where they said that the authorities determined there was no foul play associated with Kim Porter's death. And they had numerous disclaimers like that. So where do you think you can sue? Which you're not allowed to talk bad about somebody. You're not allowed to give people a platform to discuss what they may have went through at the hands of a monster or anybody that they've dealt with. Now, also in the complaints breakdown of the Making of the Bad Boys, many claims included Al B. Shore. Combs' team wrote that by maliciously advancing the unhinged narrative that Mr. Combs is a serial killer with absolutely no evidence or logic to stand on in the face of clear evidence to the contrary, defendants spread fake news of the most damaging kind. Now, if you remember Al B. Shore was a singer back in the day. He was on Uptown Records. Uptown Records is where Diddy got his start, and Kim Porter also worked at Uptown Records. Who got her that job? Al B. Shore. Now, if you remember, Al B. Shore has been speaking on the fact that he believes Kim was murdered, and he also believes that he himself, there was an attempt to murder him. If you remember, Al B. Shore ended up in the hospital in a coma, hooked up to all kind of machines, on his literal deathbed, but he made it out. Many believe he wasn't supposed to make it out. And so Al B. Shore spoke what he believed happened. You can't sue for that. And I don't know if Diddy needs the money. I'm hearing through many sources that the money is funny. And the strange thing is, I'm hearing this from really credible sources. And it makes sense because Diddy's money has literally stopped. These cases and these lawsuits, literally the only money that Diddy has coming in right now is whatever he had previously, but any new money or any money tied to his brand has pretty much stopped. And then you got legal fees mounting. You have legal fees mounting left and right. And Diddy has always been the ultimate middleman, can we say? Meaning that he never really was making the beats. He was always representing the person making the beats and taking all the fucking money. Diddy never rapped. You see on all these headlines where they say rapper Diddy or, for a rapper from Bad Boy Diddy or whatever. He never wrote one rap. People wrote for him. Even in businesses, he never started nothing besides Bad Boy. I'll give him credit for that. He started Bad Boy from scratch, the record label. But other than that, Ciroc was already there. He just used his brand. The other liquor was already gone. He just used his brand. Why am I telling you all this? Because when you're somebody like Diddy, who is never really the source of the talent, then your name and your brand is everything. Diddy literally made hundreds of millions of dollars because people wanted to be tied to Diddy. People wanted to some of Diddy's clout. Whatever they needed to get their product off the ground, and Diddy was good at being that person. Well, that's been stripped away. That's been stripped away. And now you have somebody who's always made a great living off of their ability to use their name to light a product on fire. Diddy always was able to do that. So somebody like him, once their brand takes the kind of hit that this took, it's going to be hard for Diddy to make a damn dime. Think about it. See, if he was writing the lyrics, he could still just write, but don't nobody want to write for him now. If he was making the beats, he could still make the beats. But no, he don't make them. He got to represent, but nobody wants him to represent him no more. See, this problem is worse for a person like Diddy than even a Jay-Z. Because at least Jay-Z writes his own shit. Jay-Z is the talent himself. So he will take a hit, but he could still do his thing. See, Diddy is the opposite. Diddy needs someone in order for him to make money. He needs somebody to come into his space and work with him. And so this shit has destroyed him. And speaking of destroying, Twitch's family has spoken out. And spoken out because they feel like Twitch's wife is trying to destroy his name. One of the faithful listeners actually told me about, I didn't even know, if you haven't seen it, Twitch family is on on Gail's show, speaking out, and they got a lot to say. So let's get into that real quick, and then we'll go from there. I'll give you a little background on Twitch's story, but check this clip out first.
Any of these issues before the People magazine article came out? Cornucopia of drugs, including mushrooms, pills, and other substances, implying that he had a serious drug issue.
I knew that recreationally he's used or tried things. That wasn't a shock to me. This cornucopia of drugs that had to be Googled, we don't even know if we don't know anything to be true.
Finish that sentence. We don't even know if those were his.
Yes, I mean, really, it's hearsay. It's someone else's version, and if that is the truth, there could have been a better way to bring that to the family, and then we discuss, what that meant.
So you wish there would have been a conversation with the family.
Yeah.
And I found this.
Yeah. Huh? Do you know anything about it?
Were you aware of possible sexual abuse in his childhood? You knew nothing
that was
about
new.
that.
That was
a shock for you to hear that.
Yes.
So did you know about any
So
of these issues before?
Okay, let me give you the background. Now, that's his brother, Dre. Dre Rose. That's his brother speaking out. Now, let me explain to you what's going on here. Twitch boss brother, Dre, this is courtesy of Gail King and Jasmine Brand. Twitch boss brother Dre is speaking out about the late dancer's marriage to Allison Holcomb, revealing troubling details about his siblings' struggles. Appearing on CBS Mornings, Dre shared that Steven often felt unable to open up about his issues, particularly in his relationship with Holker. Dre recalled he felt silenced. He couldn't get it out. He explained that while Steven loved his wife and children deeply, he often felt there was no resolution to the conversations he needed to have. So I'm going to continue, so let's go back to the drugs that his brother spoke about in that clip. See, what they're upset about is they're trying to figure out, why would his wife never say anything about drugs or about him using drugs, Why would she wait until after his death and then start telling every dark secret that she think he had? And nobody can confirm these. Of course, this is just her words against the family words, because Twitch obviously is not here to speak for itself. So they went on here and discussed many things, but one of them was that situation. The parents, the family said they didn't know anything about all these drugs. And that coincides with what people saying, like at Ellen's show, people that worked on the show, people that knew Twitch, everybody pretty much that knew Twitch said drugs just don't, they don't see him doing drugs. They never saw him. He never act like a drug user. None of that. So the family, that's one thing that they were pissed about. Now, when asked about the claims in Holker's new memoir, Dre expressed shock at learning about Twitch's alleged past, particularly the revelation of childhood sexual abuse. He said that was new and it was a shock to me. Now, Dre also criticized the way Holker shared private details, including Twitch's experience with alleged substance abuse and trauma, saying, and I quote, "I see no accountability in the fact that the family had to find out about these things in the manner that they did." Now, Allison Holker has explained her intentions with the book, stating, "My only intention in writing the book is to share my own story as well as part of my life with Stephen. I will never really know what happened."
It was a shock to me. It was a shock to our father, because when that comes up, it's like, well, hold on, a male figure.
A male figure.
Right. So now you have our family look like, well, what happened?
Stephen told him that those conversations were difficult with Allison.
So, in my opinion, our conversation that he had with me, he felt silenced, like he couldn't get it out.
He felt silenced in his own home?
Yeah, often.
Mm-hmm.
Often. I mean, he loved his wife. He loved those kids.
Yes.
And he would definitely give them his last. But in any situation in which you can't have a conversation and get resolved, it becomes one-sided. And I believe, because you asked about their relationship, I can say that there were many conversations, there was no resolve.
Mm-hmm. He says Stephen told him.
So the question remains simple. Would you tarnish or mess up or speak bad or tell deep, dark secrets of your loved one after they pass because you need money? What reasons besides money? If she's saying she's sharing her own story, then what does bringing out all his deepest, darkest secrets, especially if his mother and his family aren't with it? And there are other things they talked about on this situation. They talked about how the mother had to sign an NDA and the rest of the family had to sign NDAs to go to Twitch's funeral. And I don't know what the fuck the reason, they might have their reason. I don't know. But how would you feel? We don't ever want to think about losing a child. But how do you think that family feels or that mother feels? Not only did she lose her child, but if she don't sign an NDA, she can't go to the funeral. Or she can't be a part of it. The Twitch situation is absolutely just terrible. No matter what you believe. If you believe that something was done to him, if you believe that this was just he really did do this to himself. Whatever you believe, it's sad all the way around because of the outcome of everything. The family's divided. The wife is divided. The kids are in the middle. The kids are being manipulated and pulled, and it's just sad. It's just sad. It's just sad. The book, I don't know if it's selling. I don't know if it's been doing well. I don't know, but I don't think it's worth it. And so Twitch Boss, if y'all don't know, became a household name as a DJ and co-executive producer of the Ellen DeGeneres Show. This is courtesy of CBS News. And this is some of the stuff that the family opened up about. But he first rose to fame as a dancer, and people know him from the Ellen Show. He married Allison Holker in 2013. They were raising their 3 children together when he allegedly took his own life in December 2022, just 3 days after celebrating his 9th wedding anniversary. 3 children, married, working on a TV show, popular. I mean, the American dream, or just a person who dreamed. I'm sure he worked hard to get there. I mean, I'm sure you felt, come on, I'm your ninth wedding anniversary. You got 3 beautiful children and a good job, a great career, and you take your life just 3 days after celebrating your 9th wedding anniversary. It just don't sound right. Okay, so then it goes on. More than 2 years after his death, some members of Boss's family are just now starting to open up. And they said many things. Now, the family reflects on the last moments with Twitch Boss. Check this out. Check this out. Alexander said she last texted with Twitch Boss on December 12th, 2022. She said it was an ordinary conversation where they talked about work and his children's Christmas list. The next morning, Alexander says she received a phone call from Holker asking if she had heard from him. Hours later, Twitch was found dead in a hotel. He was in a hotel room with a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Alexander's brother, Alan, told her the news. And I quote, "I remember Alan saying, 'Connie, he's gone.' And I just dropped. You can't imagine those words," unquote. Alexander says she is still processing her son's death. And what she said happened next when she flew to California to be with Holker and her grandchildren. Now, the intent, and I'm quoting her now, the intent was to grieve together, be a family together, because we are family. We're Twitch, and we wanted to be there for her. That is where the freaking NDAs come into play, y'all. Alexander said following her son's death, she got a phone call from Holker's team saying the family needed to sign non-disclosure agreements. I wish somebody would tell me to sign a non-disclosure agreement about my motherfucking child. But that's just me. Let me continue. And I quote, Twitch mom says, "We were like, why? What's going on? What is this for?" Alexander says she was told by a grandfather told a story to the magazine. "If you know my dad, he is the most respected and he would never do that. She explained that a magazine did call her father and said amid his grief, he only answered questions. He's answering questions and, saying we're grieving. We don't know what happened. Whatever the answers were, we don't know. Adding that asking for the NDA when the friction began is what caused all of it, when all this started. Then check it out, y'all. It gets crazier. It became, if you don't sign, you will not be able to see him and you will not be able to participate. You are a mother of your child, and you have someone telling you and your parents, grandparents, family, uncle, brother, whoever, if y'all don't sign this NDA, you will not be able to come to or participate in any of the funeral services for Twitch. That shit burns me up just talking about it. That shit burns me up just talking about it. And who could fix their motherfucking lips to tell somebody, the mother of all people, that you got to sign an NDA or you can't participate in your son's funeral? And I don't like it. She said she signed a revised version of the non-disclosure agreement so that she could see her son before he was cremated. Come on, y'all. What the fuck? I would be so pissed. I can't even explain how pissed I would be. And then they must have had some crazy shit in it for it to have to be revised for her to end up signing it. And I quote, this is Twitch's mom, to make me sign a document to see the child that I brought into the world. I can't even put it into words what that feels like. I'm going to repeat that. This is for Twitch's mom. I'm repeating this shit because Alexander, Twitch's mom, I'm with you on this. I'm with you 1,000%, and I don't give a fuck who think I'm wrong for being with her on this or who mad about it, because I'm just being honest. I would feel the exact same way. And as a matter of fact, I would have handled it a lot. I wouldn't have handled it as mature as Twitch's mom and the family did, because I would have raised all kind of hell. I wasn't signing shit. And you would just have to take my ass to jail when I showed up to the funeral or whatever. But I'm not signing shit, and I would have been front and center at that funeral. And I'm going to be honest with y'all, I would have been ready to kick somebody's ass or everybody's ass, whatever I needed to do. And that's just me being honest. Ain't no fucking way nobody going to tell me I got to sign some shit for my son or my child to see. I don't even care if it ain't a funeral, but we talking about a funeral, y'all. We got to get behind this family, or at least this mother, because I'm not, like I said, y'all know my thing. I don't tell nobody what to think on this show. I tell the facts of what's going on, and I give y'all my opinion. Whatever you want to do is your choice. But I think this is a mother that people need to get behind, because reading through this shit, it feels like they took advantage of the situation. Because, and I bet you I'm speaking for a lot of y'all mothers in this chat. And so I already see, I didn't even read the chats. Let me read one of these statements in the chat, because I was just about to go there, but my girl Lauren went there for me. She said she would have ended up at her own funeral. You can't keep me from my kids. Amen. I am pissed that she had to sign an NDA for her kids. I'm so pissed about that, like it was me, like I'm Twitch's family. because that's just fucking ridiculous, man. In her now released memoir, the article goes on to say, my story of love, loss, embracing light, Hoker expressed concern about photos of boss leaking to the public. So she making a mom and the family sign NDAs because she is scared of photos of Twitch leaking. You got me fucked up. This is just not right, man. It's just not right. Alexander acknowledged that some people may try to take advantage of their story, and she understood that. And let me quote her. I truly understand it. I guess my issue with it is that we are a family. I'm his mother. What did you honestly think I was going to do? She asked. And then it goes on to say, for CBS News, the family shared a copy of the initial confidentiality agreement, which Boss's younger brother, Dre Rose, said was sent by Hoker's assistant 3 days after Boss's death. It names Hoker, her family, and Boss as beneficiaries and says that confidential information about their professional or business endeavors, personal life, and photographers, films, or videos cannot be disclosed, even in the course of casual discussion to any person or entity. In a revised version of the NDA, the Boss family and Hoker's team changed the terms of the agreement from an unlimited time to apply only to the information learned between the time of Boss's death and his memorial services. Whoop-de-doo. So they made it where it wasn't unlimited. It was just for the services. So they tried. Back this up, y'all. Back this up. They tried to have this NDA for a lifetime. They wanted no information about the professional or business endeavors, personal life, or any photographs of Twitch to come out about this whole situation. And the initial NDA was for an unlimited amount of time. What? And so they had to change it once everybody made a fuss about it to change it to only apply to the funeral service. Man, I tell you, people, one thing I always say is people know who they can fuck with, don't they? Because I'm looking at my chat, and in the chat, I'm thinking if some wife or some person told anybody in this chat that they couldn't come to the funeral unless they signed an NDA, if I'm reading correctly or what I'm seeing in this chat, all hell would have broke loose. But the way people work, the way this world works, see, if it was y'all, she wouldn't have did it. That's why I feel like this mother and this family is being taken advantage of, because I can speak 10 toes for my family and say this shit wouldn't fly. This shit would not fly with me or my family. I don't give a fuck who's saying it and who, whatever. My family wouldn't sign no fucking NDA, and my family would have been there 100 deep about me, and I would do the same for them. So that's why I can tell that maybe this family is sort of passive, maybe because I've dealt with impacted families, y'all. If you know my background, I continue to do a lot of work for impacted families, and I did a lot of work working with them. And one thing I can say, you know, some families are just sweet families that don't want to do too much and kind of want to stay out the way. And when you're that kind of family, the system will take full advantage of you. Or when I say the system, people like Alice and Hoker, or people that think they can get away with it. Give you a quick example. I got justice for a family in Mississippi where their son was killed by by cops. And it was deliberate, and those cops went on to get about 200 years. It's the Goon Squad. If you're familiar with the Goon Squad story from the police in Mississippi, I was a major catalyst that brought their ass down. I actually even, not only did I make many viral videos calling out all the shit that the cops in Mississippi were doing to people, but I took my ass to Mississippi in the middle of Jackson and held a press conference with me and my team and told all the news reporters and everybody would listen what the hell was going on. And when I did that, they were still working there. And we were like, when we were telling the story, the news people were like, holy shit, this is really happening? Like, they're really killing these guys? And I'm like, yeah, and they still working right down the street. Next thing we know, they fired them. But I'm telling you that story because that family it took so long for that family to get justice, because once I met with that family, I realized this is just a sweet family that don't know too much about the ins and outs of the legal system, don't really know all of their rights, and they just want to not be bothered and go about their business. And those type of families are the ones that get taken advantage of because people think they can run over them. Because you have other impacted families that I've dealt with that's not going for shit like that. And they have a better chance of getting justice and the truth than the laid back family, which is not right. Either way, you should get justice and you should be treated right, whether you raise in hell or not. But that just ain't the case. And so that situation taught me that if a family is a family that's kind of passive and laid back, you got snakes out here that take full advantage. And that's what I'm getting out of the Twitch situation, because the families of the people that I'm seeing in the chat from the statements I'm reading, all the way to like my family, to my best friend's family, none of those families would go for any of this shit. I know that for a fact. None of them would go for this shit. So it's not right. And definitely it needs to be paid attention to. Now it goes on. The mother said, we didn't want pictures at the wake. Not the mother. The brother says, we don't want pictures at the wake and the funeral and things of that nature. Why was it even presented to us? The brother goes on to say. Also, and I quote, but if you have that in the beginning of the NDA and then in fine print, it says all these other things that are included, that's why he was concerned. So more than 2 years after his death, his Twitch's wife goes on to put out this memoir. And in a People magazine article that previewed the book included details Holker shared about Boss's marijuana use and cornucopia of other drugs she allegedly found in their home after his death. The People magazine article also included details about Boss's private journals, where Holker said Boss alluded to being sexually abused as a child by a trusted male figure in his life. Alexander said she was not aware of the alleged abuse. And they said they are shocked by finding out this shit. The Twitch never told them any of this. She said, I knew that he did recreational, try things here and there, but to be a flat out drug addict, nah. They don't think that's true. The brother also said he didn't know about the possibility of sexual abuse of Twitch. So now you have our family looking at each other like, well, what the fuck happened then? If we didn't know all this, what was going on what other stuff was going on that we didn't know? Rose admitted it's a possibility that Holker knew things about Boss that the rest of us family didn't, but not all of this. It's just been, like I said, the whole Twitch situation, it gets sadder and sadder the more you dive into it. But when you hear stuff like here, the brother said you know, he worked for his brother. He worked for Twitch, and he said that his brother would often confide in him about struggling with issues like imposter syndrome, and together they would come up with ways to tackle his insecurities. He said Boss told him that those conversations were difficult with Holker. So in my opinion, which is the brother speaking, our conversation that he had with me, he felt silence, like he couldn't get it out. Rose said about how he thinks his brother felt in his own home. Sad, sad, sad. Definitely, y'all need to check that article out, or actually check the interview out on Gale. But if you don't want to go to the interview, you can also go to the CBS News article entitled "Steven Twitch Boss Family Opens Up About His Life, Private Details in His Widow, Allison Holker's Memoir and Healing." And Wendy Williams, I just got to touch on her before we get out of here. But before I even get to Wendy Williams, please like and share the live, and subscribe to the YouTube, subscribe to the Buzzsprout to keep the podcast rolling, keep the lights on. But let me shout out the subscriber of the day today. You know, we appreciate all our subscribers. You guys keep truth telling alive, and keep us from having to depend on these corporate sponsors who don't want us talking about Diddy, who don't want us bringing more awareness to Twitch's situation and asking questions. They don't want us doing none of that. So we got to protect our own and support our own. So I appreciate it. So today's subscriber of the day is Tiffany Coates. Tiffany Coates, I appreciate your subscription so much. We got to shout you out. I need everybody in the chat say thanks to Tiffany, because it's people like Tiffany that are subscribing to the podcast that keep this thing going and allow us to come together and talk about the truth and put the shit out here. So round of applause for Tiffany Coates. We at the Flow Show No Filter appreciate you greatly. We're going to continue to make you proud as a big component of why this show is doing what it's doing. So if you want the exclusive content, you want the exclusive invites and all the stuff in between, please subscribe to the channel, the podcast. I mean, the subscription link is in the notes. And let's look at the Buzzsprout subscription, and you will be subscribed. Go check it out. You won't be sorry. Now, before we get out of here, y'all, we got to talk about Wendy Williams. And this is another sad situation. And when I saw it, I was like, I gotta bring it to the crew. So check this out.
Dropped on Tubi about Wendy Williams. The wheels are now in motion to end her guardianship. We found out that Wendy has just signed an affidavit formally asking the judge to terminate the guardianship. She says, and these are the words in this affidavit, we're told, that she has regained her capacity to function normally. It's true, a couple of years ago, she did not have that capacity. But anybody who watches this documentary, I think it's going to be clear that has all changed. She seems like the old Wendy right now. Now, we are also told that next Tuesday, she will be reevaluated by a doctor. And it's a doctor selected not by the guardian, but by her personal lawyer, who is now working with her to end the guardianship. Wendy says in this affidavit, she is clear. She says she does not have frontotemporal dementia. Now, that's how she had been diagnosed previously. But as we say in this documentary, frontotemporal dementia never gets better. People only get worse. If you watched her in the life, he's here. It's very documentary. How can she get better if you never get better with that diagnosis? A lot of people, including Wendy, believe she was misdiagnosed. Now, there will be an emergency order to show cause filed a week from today, Wednesday, asking the judge formally to end this guardianship. If the judge says no, we're told Wendy's lawyer will then demand a jury trial, which you can get in New York, where jurors will decide, does Wendy now have the capacity to live as a free woman? That is a big deal. A lot has changed in just hours after this documentary dropped. But this is something that has been a long time in coming for Wendy. I will say personally, I've spoken with her for hours on end, and Wendy Williams is back to being the Wendy Williams we all know.
So Wendy Williams apparently is back, and it's more clips of her actually talking. She was like it was weird. She was talking to TMZ, but she was behind a window, like she was locked up somewhere. I don't know what the hell's going on, but that documentary, the Wendy Williams documentary that TMZ did, I think it's out already. It's on Tubi. So go to Tubi. It should be out though. I believe it's out. But if not, if you go to Tubi, it'll tell you when it's coming out. But I'm sure. No, it's out. It's out. So go to Tubi and check it out, man. Wendy Williams trying to get her life back. If y'all know, they took control of everything because of her dementia, which she says she is fine now, and it's really sad. So we're gonna talk more about that in the lunchtime show. I just wanted to touch on that, make y'all aware of what the hell going on with Wendy Williams. I love y'all as always, and I'm out. Breakfast crew. Thank you for rocking with me this morning. I will see y'all at lunch. We're gonna talk some more about Wendy Williams and whatever else is going on. The Mohawk Menace. The Mohawk Menace, huh? Hey, y'all, we have a great time. I appreciate y'all. Y'all know, look at Shauna, know the routine. Flood it up. And y'all, when this live is over, when I say make comments, I'm talking about when the live closes and the video just posts. Let's put more comments in the actual comment section of the YouTube video. I love the Breakfast Crew. We're making moves, but make sure we need to have more comments in our video, not after the video is over. Put it in the comment section of the video once the live is over, and that will help me out tremendously, and it'll actually push the content more into the algorithm or whatever the fuck. But I appreciate y'all. Now, Dreamer, Shauna, Jennifer, Amy, Michelle. You know, I don't want to miss none of the people and none of the faithful. Felix, Boatwright. Only one we missing that I could say. Oh, Patricia. Patricia was early today, matter of fact. Appreciate you, Patricia. See y'all at lunch. I'm out.